Hi there, Stamping Staycationers. It's Marilyn here for your last presentation of the day. We will have a wind-up Zoom to Facebook afterwards, but this is the last presentation, so haven't the others been totally remarkable? I'm sure that your heads are just spinning just like mine is. I want to try this and this and this and this and this and on to the next thing. So without further delay, I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see what I'm going to show you for my last presentation. It's a little bit more involved than the last one, but hopefully it will all turn out okay and you'll like to make a bunch of them as well. So bear with me while I turn the camera the other direction. And whoops, let's try to keep my work surface within. Oh, thanks, Judy. I think it's been awesome. There's been some great ideas for you. And while you're waiting for me to get things set up and make sure that I'm in the right place, why don't you let me know the one thing or more that you cannot craft unless you have it with you. For me, if anybody's ever watched me or whatever, and they know, it is my water bottle. I need a water bottle with me. Kind of as my security blanket maybe, but I do enjoy having water quite often, whether I'm really thirsty or not, it's there for me. So tell me what yours is, and I will carry on. The stamp set I'm going to use this time is the Sweet Strawberry and the Punch, which you can see is on page 44 of the catalog, and it does come as a bundle. So of course, bundles mean you save 10%, so the punch and the set. And we are so lucky this time around because Celebration also has coordinating things with this, the Berry Delightful designer paper, which I am going to use in this card today. Has all of these colors. Isn't that amazing what you can pick any of those colors and it'll match some of this designer paper. Love, love, love the blueberries. And I do have a couple cards to show you with those at the end. But to begin with, the stamp set and the punch. And probably easier for you with no glare to see the punch this way. So you have the strawberry husk, I think it's called, a leaf and a flower. And of course coordinates with the two-step strawberry, the two-step leaf, the two-step husk, and the two-step flower. Plus, really, really impressed with the fonts for those greetings. And we're going to use this stamp as well. And then when you get to the Celebration with the designer paper that I'm excited about, and lots of us are hoping that this paper might be carried over. Haven't heard anything from Stampin' Up! Yet, but it's certainly been popular. So to get that for $120 Canadian, before shipping and handling and tax, you get that, plus you get another stamp set, which has the blueberries. And more fonts, more two-step stamping, all over the place actually. That one's got everything as a two-step stamp. Was talking with Karen Duke the other day, and we both agreed that the blueberries in this set match perfectly, better than any other sets we've ever had. So it's great to know that things are working well. So just, before I will need the punch, I'll bring it back, but I did have somewhere a paper I wanted to try and show you. When you get your punch, I like to punch it out to see the shapes and maybe keep that with my stamp set so it's like a template. And I can't even see it with my regular eye, but when I did punch this out, and it does say in the instructions with your punch to be careful, punch it a few times before you use it, because there is oil in this punch when they make it, to make it punch properly and work well. And when I did it on this piece of paper, maybe I've got it upside down. No, don't think so. You could see a ring of oil around each one of the things. So just be aware of that. I try to remember to do it every time. but not always successful in doing that. So, but just thought I would mention that because it is, you'd hate to wreck your good cardstock with it. So let's get on to the card I'm going to make is a Z fold. I know some of you, when you were trying to guess our style, definitely mentioned that I like fancy folds, and I do. So this is one that I've put together for you using the Granny Apple Green, and it's using Poppy Parade, and mainly got those colors from the designer paper because, as you know, when they give you designer paper, and it's not in the catalog this time, but most of the time they will list all of the colors that are in that paper. When you get the package, it actually is on the back of that. So this is what we're going to put together. So I will just kind of leave it there. And again, I have my envelope full of goodies here. I'm going to show you a couple of little tricks that I did with the vellum doily and the greeting. But let's get started. I have my card base. Okay, what did I do with my... Oh, too many things on my table. My piercing mat. So it is 11 by 4 1/4, and again, like all of our samples today, all the sizes are in the tutorial, so you do not need to copy them down as we go through here, but I'll show them to you because I've got them here. It's scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4, so that virtually makes your Z fold. So in half this way, and then your 2 3/4 is in half again this way. So if you didn't remember to score it, just use the rule of half. So that's your first layer. Your next piece in the Poppy Parade is at 9 3/4 by 3 1/2, and it's scored at 3 6. And that's going to make this inside layer that you can see here. So I did score it beforehand. I like using the scoreboard a little bit better than the scoring blade on my paper trimmer because I can get a firmer fold. So that's basically all there is to the card. Then I do have a piece of designer paper that's going to go along the back at 5 1/4 by 4, and that can go on right away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you can use whatever side of the paper you like. Of course, our designer paper comes with two beautiful colors, designs on one on each side. And as we just saw with Lillian's card, what a great way to be able to showcase both sides of that designer paper when you do that corner fold over. So I've got that one. I've got another piece cut at 4 by 2 1/2 that's going to go on this front section. So that can go on, and you can see that's the other side of that paper. So again, showcasing both sides of the paper. Oops. And bear with me while I put that one down. So again, going back to our sample, there's nothing on the inside here. There is a piece on that inside piece, so I will do that one. And then we'll get on to our stamping and whatever. So these are 3 by 2 3/4, so that you do have to check it out as to which way is up. And that one, I'm going to use that side up or down, whichever. And then we need to do some stamping. So I have quit trying to move that. I need two white pieces for the two here, and they're 3 by 2 3/4, the same as the last one. So Again, I want to make sure that I've got them the right direction. I'm going to stamp with the Granny Apple Green a little bit on the back of this one so it's in behind the strawberries. And this is a larger stamp, and I'm just going to use it kind of as a background. Try to do it the same way because I like that. So just that it peeks out behind the strawberries. And on the other one, the other white one, just going to put a little bit of the leaf down at the bottom. However, like Lillian said, we just we design as we go. Okay, I think this looks good. That's what I'll do. The strawberries, I've already done the two-step stamping and punched out. The green husks, I'm going to use these photopolymer stamps. And I've discovered that there is no, you don't have to use the fill-in one first or last. You can use them. Are you able to see me? Maybe. And because they're photopolymer, they are fairly easy to line up. And I'll say that tongue-in-cheek because of doing it on camera and not being able to get my head right over there. They might not be. You can see that I've got 1 inch wide written on here. So when I do something like this, I like to cut my paper so I'm not wasting a lot. So if I cut it 1 inch wide, it's definitely big enough for that. And the same when I go to do the strawberries, I believe they were, yeah, about 1.5 inch wide. There, so that is all the stamping with that stamp pad. I will punch those out. Now, again, because we've got a multi-design punch, we need to be aware of where that stamped image is going to go inside the punch. And just line it up as best you can. And there's going to be pieces flying because of here and, oh, that's not going to work. Look at that. Stamped that one too close. So this is a trick that you can use your Post-it notes, if they work, as kind of an extra piece for holding that in there instead of trying to shake it around and move it with your I've heard of people using the sticky end of the take your pick tool as well. And I have on this punch as well, I'll just give you another tidbit. Recently I've been doing quite a few of these with this punch, and sometimes it sticks closed even though you've finished. I take something sturdy and just push down on it, and it does work to separate it again. So this one I should be able to do with just the punch and the cardstock, because so I would do those. I will and like I say, I got flying pieces all over. So those are going to go on my strawberries, and I'll maybe put those on now so they can dry a little bit. And then I'm going to show you what I did with the, you can see my, maybe, yeah. See my vellum is shiny, and when you get it, it's not. So I'll show you how I embossed it with white embossing powder. Okay, so those are going to go on there. I have already done, I did a white with green, and it was too much white, so I did a green with the white. And to do a green color that we don't have now, if you use your regular stamp pad, you can, and quickly put your embossing powder on it, it will work, and you can end up with green or any color. And then recently, this is the die from Tasteful, get it out here for you, Tasteful Labels. And it's not a, it is a cutting edge, but I've recently read that if you cut it out with that, so that's what I did, and then keep the piece in here, turn it over, see if I can, well, I've already done it, so I don't need to actually do it, but I want to show you how neat this is. I thought, oh, I like that. Put in this tool and just run it along here, and it gives it, I'm trying to bring it up close enough that you can see it, it gives it a raised edge. Isn't that cool? Just a little bit of extra pizzazz to that layer. And that you have that piece anyway with your take your pick tool when you get it. So it's a perfect way to make use of that piece. So I have that, oh, I need to stamp on here with the red. So that I'm using the Happy Birthday from the Berry Blessings that comes with Celebration, wherever I've got it. Again, mounted on my block at an angle so that I can try and stamp it straight. That has really helped my stamping since I read about that and started doing it. So there's my pieces for that. Then for the vellum that is tucked under, oh, can't see that in my card now, just tucked under here, I, first of all, want to show you that they come in a package. You have 24 square vellum doilies. I thought I had, oh, I do have one out. So they're vellum, like your cardstock that we've been using on the other samples today and coloring with our blending brushes. So kind of dull, kind of, I don't know. They're okay, but I wasn't totally excited with it. So I thought, okay, I've got green. Let's emboss that with green. So I colored it with my ink pad. Then I put clear embossing powder on it and heated it with my heat tool, and it came out this way. And it was okay, but still, when I laid it in here, it was like, it kind of got lost with my green background. But I kept it because I might be able to use it somewhere. So then I decided I wanted a white one. And as you can see on here, the white stands out amazingly well. And I have, because your vellum square is that big, when I did that one, I've got a piece for here. But I do want to show you how I did that, because I didn't know. I went looking and found out and whatever. So when you take these out of the package, there are little pieces left in them. So I used my take your pick tool and made sure they were all poked out. Then I used my Versamark just all over it. And I did this with it, and I was a little vigorous on the first one I did, and I tore some of it. So be careful. It is quite fine. I opened my white embossing powder, and I like to leave it in a dish like this so I can, usually if I'm embossing a piece of cardstock, I'll dip it in and make sure that it's all covered. But in this case, of course, can't do that, so I took and kind of, instead of getting my fingers inky like Lillian was talking about, I got my fingers covered with embossing powder. Then I went to my heat tool, and a friend of mine from Prince George that's been crafting online with me suggested doing something like this for embossing so it doesn't fly away and you don't have to hold. I do have a tin foil covered piece of cardstock that I use this clip and hold things, but again, I don't want anything holding that because I want it all to be shiny. So I put it in there, and just let me put this away before I turn on the heat tool. I'm going to, like Joanne, I'm going to start the heat tool away from my project till it heats up. And then when you go to use it in here, not only does it keep it from flying all over the place because it's kind of enclosed, but it also keeps you from burning your fingers. And the heat from the tin foil behind it helps to heat up your project. So, kind of hard to see, and you're probably not going to be able to see it, but I can see it slowly turning to be shiny. And then it's, like I say, it's right there. You don't have to worry about it running away on you or anything. So I thank Beatrice for sharing that tip with me. And there is your shiny vellum embossed with white. So that was my tidbit on embossing. I will now put the card together, show you what I did. I used liquid glue for most of it. I did use, and I see I don't have them out here, but I will, they're right handy, dimensionals for the strawberries. Now that they're dry, I can do that with them. And then I'll show you putting the two Z's together. Something like Lillian's piece that held the cone together. You put it in and you shut the card, and it's just all where it belongs. So I do have looking for tiny dimensionals because I want to make sure these are popped up in all areas. So I'm going to put 3 on each of them. So hopefully you can see all kinds of future ideas happening for your strawberries in this set. And I love strawberries. I used to enjoy going with my grandmother to pick strawberries. And these are a good size. And again, not only the blueberries in that set that Karen and I were talking about, but the strawberries match up, both layers of them as well. So I'm going to put this on the back of here first. And I see I've got some ink on there. I'll have to see if I can remove it. And for that, I'm just going to put a little bit of the liquid glue to hold it for now. And I tried to center it, which again you can do because you're using that liquid glue. Then I'm going to attach this where I want it. Okay, so I'm gonna just put my finger there. I don't want glue any further than that, but I can do this. And that's going to be the front edge of my Z. And hopefully I didn't get it over where I shouldn't. No. So again, as I've said before, I like to turn it over and burnish it this way. Strawberries dipped in chocolate. Yes, Faye. I recently had a friend send me a bouquet of fruit dipped in chocolate, and it was pretty awesome. So because you've got your layers folded very similar, now what you would do is again put your adhesive on here and instead of trying to line it up and everything the other way is just fold this over top. And there is your Z fold. I think I will be, because I've got a little bit of ink on there, I will be putting something there. Then my greeting, and I don't know, I presume you'll agree with me that the green is definitely better. So I'm going to mount it just here. I'm not going to worry about gluing it down here. I'll glue the top half and just make sure it doesn't go over the bottom so that it still fits in the envelope. And we're ready to go. So again, this set, I really, really like the fonts that are used in it. Help if you got it straight, wouldn't it? Okay, I think that's it. And for the final touch, I did use Wink of Stella just on the little, what do you call them? Seeds of the strawberries, I guess you would call them. And just a little bit of glimmer. You could certainly add some rhinestones. Like I say, on this particular card, I will be adding something for where I had the green, obviously from my fingers or something that caught that. So again, I can see it. I don't know if you can, but there is a little bit of green there. Green, a little bit of sparkle there. I'm thinking green. Got to cover the green. So that is my card to demo for you. And I do have some others to share with you. I thought it was quite ironical. I designed this card, I put it together, we talked about it, decided, yeah, it would work for what we wanted. And then I did a card swap with my downline. And one of my gals sent me this card. Look at that. It's using the other design, the other stamp set with the blueberries, and more of the words from there, but almost identical otherwise. Isn't that great? So I'm challenging you for your challenge to use whatever. I do have one from a stamp set used out of the annual catalog that I'm going to show you how you can use it. It doesn't have to be the berry set like we're using here. This one I made with the berries and lined up perfectly. I just, like I say, just love how that two-step works there. Then I did this one as a Z fold, not a double Z fold, but it is a Z fold using that set that Lillian just showed you. So another idea with the Z fold. And then my last one, that's my alternative for you, I stamped the envelope in the Magenta Madness, and I used, totally lost it now, but this one is in the big catalog. Sorry, you're going to have to think of it or find it yourself. And I used the new designer paper that we're allowed to buy as demonstrators, but this one is going to be available in the annual catalog. And I used gold paper as my second layer and did the embossing on here with gold, and just cut around this magnolia. That's what it is. Just remembered. So I think that one makes a great alternative for you to use. And of course, if this isn't enough room for you to write on, there's always the back side of your card. So hopefully that has helped you some. Oh, and one other thing that I've made with that paper is another box that we do have is the 2x2x2. You may have seen it in the annual catalog. I stamped the larger leaves and the flowers and used the leaf punch to punch out just for you. So I thought that was kind of a neat way of using that leaf punch. And sorry, but I ate the chocolates, so all we've got left is tissue paper holding the box together. But it's a great way to, again, use some of your designer paper. It's 2x2x2. And I've got one strip going this way and one going this way, and then the design on top. And it's just a great way to use some of that designer paper for your gift packaging. So hopefully that has helped. And I think that's all that I have on my table to show you. So we will be back about 4 o'clock with our Zoom to Facebook wind-up, similar to what we did last night. As long as technology helps us, we will be there for you. So we will make it somehow. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.